Good night once more. Welcome to the Princess Margaret Secondary School and to St. Philip Speaks. We are a little late, but we will make up for it. Uh, we have with us the Prime Minister, Honorable Mia Moore-Motley, the Deputy Prime Minister, two of your St. Philip MPs who should be familiar to all of you. Missing is the Minister of Education. She is attending a function at Ilar Court, but she will be here momentarily. So, okay, I'll take the advice of the directions of the Prime Minister. The Minister of Education is attending a reception for visiting principals who are here attending the Caribbean Association of Principals of Public Secondary Schools Biennial Conference. They had an official opening this morning, and there is a reception this evening at Ilar Court. So once she's given her introductions there, she will head here to be with you and to take care of constituency matters. So I apologize for her late arrival.
I think that makes it a little more contextual. Correct? We're ready?
Go right ahead, yes.
So the floor is open. We're going to go straight into those who would like to speak. And I want to thank everyone who is here. And let's get started.
Good night to everyone. I am here speaking on the behalf of my house. My house.
Give us your name and address so we can.
My name is Irvin Lowe.
Sorry?
Irvin Lowe. Irvin Lowe.
All right, you may have to just go closer to the mic. The Minister McCartney is here, so we just gave an excuse for you. Thank you. Irvin
Lowe.
Lowe. Thank you.
Now, my house was being hit by the hurricane. There's houses in the district that was never being struck. And I can see these people get house. And mine that was struck by the hurricane can't be done. My house was the third that started in the neighborhood. Until today, my house cannot be complete.
Okay, where do you live, Mr. Lowe?
Brayton Village, St. Philip.
Okay. I don't need you to put any more of your business out there. There should be someone from the RDC or NHC here. Mr. Morris, where are they? So that Mr. Lowe can go. And Mr. Lowe, if you can. Mr. Gill, you're in a position to answer or you need to investigate, sir? The officers are here, but I would like to be able for you all to give me an answer so that Mr. Morris can communicate to Mr. Lowe no later than Thursday this week.
Ma'am, this was going on too long.
I hear you. The only thing that I am doing is getting on like you.
No,
So rest assured. Hold up, Mr. Lowe, rest assured that they know that they have to report.
I pay $250 a week for rent.
They have to report. You can respond? Yes, I spoke to the officer in charge of Okay, but is this a matter that we want to respond in public about Mr. Lowe's business, or would you like to respond to him personally? Thank you. Lord bless you. So, Mr. Lowe, go there to the gentleman, the general manager of National Housing, and Mr. Morris will report back to me while I am here at this top table. All right? The Lord bless you. And I apologize on behalf of government for you having to wait that long. I agree, and I like that too. That's why we do these meetings. Thank you. There's a family, one big family called Barbados. Who's next?
Good night. My name is Cordell Brown, and I live in Atlantic Park, Bel Air, St. Philip. And my issue now is that the road is being fixed. I understand it's for progress, but it's been going on for too long. And my problem with the road is that all of a sudden there's like a bridge, and for the past 4 weeks, these like 4 men, they come, they walk around, some of them come in shorts. How do you go to work with shorts on? Okay, I don't understand that. Anyhow, they come every day, but nothing is going on with the bridge. And they're making my development, where we have a lot of kids in the development, and the trucks, the ZRs, the buses, they're coming through the development so fast, I'm afraid that somebody is going to get killed. So we want to know, when will this road be fixed and the bridge be fixed? And also, like Mr. Law, I have a friend whose house was also destroyed during the freak storm. She lives in Lynches. Right now, she has no place to stay. She's staying with me until. And this has been going on for two and a half years. And her house is not complete. She's been talking to everybody, and it doesn't seem like she's getting anywhere.
Okay, it's not 2.5 years, though,
Well,
but I understand why it feels
that
like that way. But bottom line is, give her name to the others at the back. I don't want you making her business known.
No, I'm not. I just said a friend. I didn't call her
Agreed.
name.
But the reason
Yeah.
for us bringing officers here is to be able to understand what is happening and to be able to treat to it. With respect to the road, I'll ask the DPM and her officers if they're in a position to respond to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I ain't got it. Yeah, okay, thank you, ma'am, for raising it. That is part of the IDB project. I'm going to ask the project manager, Mr. Scanterbury, to just bring you up to date as to what are some of the issues in that particular district. Mr. Scanterbury.
Good evening, all. Good evening. That work is being done by Infra Inc. Infra is sometimes like you have two children. One is doing what it's supposed to do. The other is problematic. Infra is the problematic child. Basically, what's happened is, when we were doing that work, there was an inspection made. Earlier up, we recognized that there was a crack in the bridge. And therefore, you shouldn't have heavy traffic traveling across it. The top of the bridge was taken off. And what's happened only today is that we've poured the top of the bridge. As Mr. Phillips, who is the engineer he's the supervising engineer, he was saying, they poured 6,000 PSI concrete, which is very, very strong. And what we are looking to do is to open it hopefully around 2 to 3 weeks as it gets strong enough to take a large amount of traffic and the heavy traffic from Sam Lords. Now, as you would be aware, Sam Lords there's a lot of movement of heavy traffic going across over there. Regularly, I would say, you would be able to open it before, but with the weight that's going across Long Bay, we have to take a little while and make sure that everything is strong. That's one thing. The second thing is, once in 2 or 3 weeks, I'm hoping that Infra will have bitumen, because there's a shortage of bitumen in Barbados, bitumen to pave that area. And since I'm here, and I'm sure other people will have this issue as well, there are areas where Infra has not done the work as they should. So therefore, you're getting areas where the subsidence of the road itself. Infra has been made aware of it. We know why, because we've done inspections, and generally that's because of poor compaction over the areas where you have water authority excavations. And they are to remedy that. There's also bad concrete work that is leading to ponding as well. So those are some of the issues that we're trying to work on right now. So I don't know what else I can tell you.
Let me say something to you. Before you started the project, wasn't there an engineer came out to inspect, to make sure that everything was being in place and everything would be working out all right? The inspection should have been done by an engineer before you started the work.
engineers went out. We did social surveys. We went out there, we spoke to persons. We did geotechnical work. All of that was done. We actually then made a better design. That was done by Beston Consulting, Mr. Granville Phillips here. And we went out there, but as I tell you, sometimes you have a good design, but the execution isn't done as well as you would like. And that is the issue on that road right now.
Well, somebody should have told the neighbors what's going on because it's like, I've been away for 4 weeks and I came back and it looked like nothing moved. Nothing. Everything's at a standstill.
Can I help you? Because sometimes things are beyond our control and we need to be upfront with people, please. The Deputy Prime Minister is showing me a memo minute from the Barbados National Oil Company. And therefore, this was Friday last week. You want to read it to them? Thanks.
Right, so this is as a result of what was raised just now in relation to the shortage of the bitumen on the island. Minister Cummins would ask for an update and was told that, first of all, there was a delay at the berth in Jamaica for the cargo vessel before us as the product specs. Sorry. There was a delay at the berth in Jamaica for the cargo vessel before us as the product specs were off, and the shipment was delayed for 3 days. However, that boat is now released and we're scheduled to load tomorrow with a 4 to 5 day sailing to arrive around Thursday. Note the viscosity is a bit higher, so we hope that the pump rate is no problem. So that was the last update that we got in relation to the bitumen coming onto the island.
So they expect it to come by Thursday this week. So there are certain things that we don't produce here. And when you hear me talk about supply disruption or difficulties with shipping, the world is not the same as it used to be. And therefore, my thing is that if we know these things, Mr. Scanterbury, are delayed, the Deputy Prime Minister has put an excellent communications mechanism in place. We need not only to have it at the macro level, we need to be doing it at the district level where people are affected by specific projects for whatever reason. And certainly the delaying of bitumen would be a valid reason for us to be able to let people know, because more often than not, it means there's dust on the ground, and it means that the dust is blowing around. And it means that the dust can't be sealed until the bitumen come, correct? So what is your duty of care? It will be to the community. So Ms. Brown, I thank you for raising it. I hope you understand better what is happening. And then in terms of the curing period for the bridge, the 2 gentlemen sitting behind you have a degree that I don't have, and they say engineering. So we have to listen to them and take advice from them. And the gentleman on this other side, Mr. Tudor, right across from you, so that if they say that we need to wait and give it a little longer to cure, we're going to have to follow their instructions. Look how long Carmichael Road took. But if you're going down Carmichael Road now, in fact, the problem is they want people to take the time. You understand? Because it's a little too smooth. Thank you.
Well, my name is Joan Atherley, and I lived in Old Barry Terrace in Philip. My concerns, question 1, my concerns. I know that when the asphalt workers came to the end of their program, they were trained and retrained and stuff like that for other jobs. I want to know if there's any program put in place for the CHLOs, which is Community Liaison Officers. That's my question. And secondly, my neighborhood, the drains has not been cleaned for quite a while. Being it's rainy season, the lots from 118 to 126, when the rain falls, they cannot
Oldbury,
leave.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
They cannot leave home.
And so the drainage needs to be cleared there.
Yes.
But the liaison officers you were talking about were which ones?
Community health liaison officers work on the COVID program.
Yeah. So some of them are transitioning. Some of the it's not parent volunteers, what do you call them? The COVID monitors for primary school are transitioning, and the whole of the community elderly care are transitioning. So I would suggest that you look and see. I'm not sure how many we are taking. I don't want to talk off the top of my head, but Mr. Morris can give you that answer by tomorrow with respect to the community health liaison. But because there were shortages in the environmental health, a number of persons are transitioning into there. Okay?
Okay. My concern, back to the Oldbury Terrace, about the drainage, and there's a lot, it could be 90, lot number 90, that is right in the corner, that there was a for sale sign posted, and I had called the number to ask the owner to clean it. And after a week or so, the sign came down and she did not answer the phone. And when you come, it's very dark. People have to take the bus. The people from Harlington and St. Martin's who take the bus, St. Patrick bus, has to pass in that corner, and it's very dark. So I would like to know, I would like a little help to have it cleared. Secondly, we would like a little help with our recreation facilities. There's an open lot that was left for the residents to develop. We tried our hands. Right now we have it cleared, not like flat, but we're controlling the bush, and we would like a little help to make it look pretty. Thank you very much.
Mr. Yearwood, would you like to speak? DPM is suggesting that you may speak to the question of the drainage in Oldbury. Thank you.
Good night, all. Where the question speaks to the maintenance of drainage in the area, and we've had the contract workers who finished earlier this year, and we've requested additional, bringing back on some of them to carry out works because we have a shortfall of labor in that area for drainage maintenance.
I'm not sure that's what it is, Mr. Yearwood. And secondly, I believe that each depot has workers that are not necessarily being fully applied because you don't have a full complement of equipment every day. So the question is, can we move around the workers in order to be able to meet the needs without necessarily limiting them to the specific depot that they're working in? And I think that is one of the things that the DPM and others and the CTO will need to sit down with you guys and work out. Because even though you have 13 depots, equipment is not always available for some reason. You work a piece of equipment yesterday, today, tomorrow it breaks down.
Yep.
What happens to those workers then? Can we redeploy those workers to another depot elsewhere in the country? Because the country is still only 166 square miles and they don't have far to travel.
Yeah.
So I think these are some of the things that we need to be able to see a different approach on in order to be able, and everybody is conscious about the drainage, largely because we are getting unusual weather patterns.
Yeah.
The second thing is the AG has indicated to me that we will probably have over the summer to be able to complete the legislation. There is a draft, correct, AG? Mm-hmm. There is a draft with respect to that matter. Where's Ms. Atherley? Where's she gone? Right, yes, ma'am. But those people who have their lots overgrown and that are not cleaning them, we have been waiting for the legislation for some time, but as you all know, we're also doing a lot of legislation with a lot less people who are equipped to do drafting. And in fact, I think the AG has still engaged someone out of Canada now to help with some specialized drafting to try to create space. Okay. So we hope that over the course of the summer, we can get that bill before Parliament, because we know too that once that bill imposes obligations on homeowners, then it means people have to be able to keep their place clean. If not, the government is going to do it and the fine will come from that. So one way or the other, some of the same people who were doing work before will get work either from government or from private people. Okay?
But surely that will reduce the demand by us to do work.
Yeah. And I want to use this opportunity to say to homeowners, notice that, and occupiers of homes, that each of us will remember the saying that prevention is better than what? Cure. And we're living in a different time. And if you see grass around you growing up, and if you see garbage or people throwing or garbage collecting for whatever reason, we really, really need everybody to play their part. Government alone cannot keep Barbados clean. Can I repeat myself? Government alone cannot keep our country clean. But yet, if it is not clean, who is on the front line of the mosquito bite? Who is on the front line if there are rats? Who is on the front line if there is some kind of pandemic? It's the householders. So I think that we need to take time. When we were growing up, what used to happen? You used to go outside and you see people cleaning not only in at them, but they used to be cleaning what? All out to the front of them, to the side of them, if there was a side, and to the back. So I think that we need to be able to educate people again that many hands make light work. And if everybody takes care of in by them, then we can take care of the rest of the country where obviously there's nobody to take care of it. And if we do that, Mr. Tudor and them don't want to hear me anymore. Every week, if not directly through my personal assistant, I call and tell them, Mr. Tudor, come and tell them how it's humbug you. You and NCC. Because the country cannot be allowed, and it's like people coming home at you. If people coming home at you, you don't want your place looking a certain way. So Barbados is our home. And we need, therefore, everybody to help put in the effort to be able to make sure, especially now that the rains have started back and grass and bush are going quickly again, we need to ask everybody to play their part. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Atherley.
Thank you very much. The next person can prepare. Just by way of information, if you are from St. Philip and you are planning to speak, please go over to the desk by the door. I give your information over there. They'll give you a number. Come back, take one of these seats next to the mic, and then just drop in at your time based on your number. Thank you. Go.
Good evening, everyone. Madam Prime Minister, I am back. At the first St. Philip speak, my burning issue was the complaints by the residents of St. Philip regarding the Yorkshire Road. You promised with the team at MTW that you are going to deliver. Well, my report from the constituents are, you're just like Jesus. You did deliver, and they are pleased, and they are happy, and they say thank you. But on the other hand, Madam Prime Minister, we have created some road hogs running from the St. Patrick's roundabout to Charnock's going toward the airport, whereas the road is in a mess. We have wells in the road. Plastic bag can right over his sound. We have wells in the road, especially at the junction in Waldron. You can actually lose your vehicle in one or two of those holes there. It is very, very bad situation over there. And thank God that school is out. Because the way these guys are driving or were driving, the roads are completely mashed up. You can plant, you can lose whatever you have going from St. Patrick's roundabout to Charnock's. And we're hoping that with the extension of the Yorkshire Road, or that there will be an extension, that road will be done as well. That's what the residents want to hear. That's for that. What I want to do is compliment Madam Prime Minister, my work team.
Can I get the minister, the MP, to just speak to that first part? Because I think all of that came out of the movement of stuff from up at Sam Lord's, not true?
Yeah, so yeah.
Okay, so don't move from the mic.
Okay, well, first of all, Denton, thanks for raising it on behalf of the residents. As you know, I was aware of it. You would know also that we met with the residents of the community who had significant damage. It was not just the road that in the first place wasn't in the best condition, but then with the movement of the trucks, It has really done tremendous damage. In addition to the damage that was done to the electrical, the wiring, and the floor lines and stuff, with trucks popping down the lines as they went along. We not only met with the residents, we have also brought out the public relations person who has responsibility for the Barbados Tourism Investment Inc., who also met with the residents. And just last Saturday gone, the chairman of Barbados Tourism Investment Inc. also went into the area, saw the roads, and also spoke with some of the residents. What is planned is that the government, of course, in collaboration with BTII, will have to look at the situation. I will leave the relevant ministers in charge to speak to that. But we are aware of what needs to be done. We have sent videos, we've sent photographs. Some of the residents who had some damage to property have already submitted their requests for reimbursement, and there are others being coordinated by our constituency office for the other submissions that have to be addressed. So yes, we are aware. We have started to address the matter. It is now just a matter of working with the necessary government agencies and partners to make sure that we bring a solution.
Okay, thank you, Minister McConney, and it is good that while I'm out there, we are running into each other so often.
Just a minute, Denton. I don't know if Ms. Haig wants to add in a little more detail beyond what the minister has asked them to do, because she's been working on it day to day before and since Saturday. I don't know that she can reach up there.
That's all right. That's all right. Good night, everybody.
Pull it down for her, Denton. Fix the thing, man. Thank you.
Happens when you're vertically challenged. Good night, everybody. First of all, let me apologize to the residents for what they had to endure for the couple of weeks that we had to complete Sam Lords. It was a catch-22. You needed to get it removed, but you also wanted people to proceed with caution. And thank God now we have reduced the amount of trucks. We're more or less finished. And we have committed from BTI to look at all of the complaints, legitimate complaints, because we do have to investigate. I sent a message to the minister if we should proceed, because we were waiting to compile all of them, and she had asked me to proceed, where there is going to be a level of compensation given. And I say that not in a wide way, but there were some times where, for example, some electrical work had to be done as a result of the truck pulling the, as you know, the electricity cord down, pulling down the meter, damaging wires that were connected onto the house, and certainly we want to rectify that. And the roads, we know that they were traveling on the roads at a speed, but we also know it's a quarry in that area, so they're familiar with the trucks. What happened was obviously there was an increase in movement that further deteriorated the road. So I'm with you with the repair of that road at some point, because it's many years that it's been like that, and hopefully it will be done at some point. But in the meantime, we're also looking at a sidewalk. We spoke with Minister for the school. Before even the trucks came, the school needed a sidewalk. So because of the situation, and I'm one to turn the frown upside down and see what good can come out of the bad, and at least I know we're having some discussions at BTI regarding the sidewalk so our children can be safe, your children can be safe at the Gordon Walters School. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and let's hope we can get this done and add value back to the community, please. Continue, sir.
Thank you. Well, I can report back to the residents that something will be done. And once the Prime Minister says it will be done, we rest assured that it will be done. But before I move off, I also want to take this time to give compliments to my work team at Six Souls. They are doing a tremendous job with what little they have. I am not in St. Philip anymore, but regardless, I'm still a part of MTW and I love my job. Back then, we were the laughing stock, or we were the laughing ministry, whereas MTW meant Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, meant thief and wages, and all kinds of things. But now I can say with the good work that is being done in Six Souls by my good friend Thomas, Ingrid Bullen, and Mr. Franklin, MTW can change the name, we can hold our head high. We are no longer taking insults with those kind of foolish abbreviations. For me now, MTW is basically miraculously transforming wherever because these guys are doing a tremendous job, and I'm so proud. In my 27th year, I'm so proud to be a part of MTW now, and I can boast about it. Mr. PS, we are doing a good job in St. Philip. Not the guys, not because y'all move me out, but I'll be back regardless. And that's all for now.
Thank you. Miraculously transforming wherever. Mr. Chuda, I hope you heard it. Who's next?
Good night. Okay, thank you. Good night, everyone. My name is Aisha Jones. The last time I was here, which was July 2022, I came very nervously to ask for the assistance of the Prime Minister and her team for not MTW, Town and Country Planning.
Remind me where you live again?
Lombe St.
Lombe.
Philip is where the issue was. However, the same way I came last year to ask a favor or make a complaint, I found it very necessary to come from St. Thomas to be here tonight to say a huge thank you to you, Madam Prime Minister, Mr. Duguid, and your team at Town and Country Planning, Mr. Indar Weir, my MP, and Mr. Morris.
You know I'm about to stop here.
No,
because I stop everybody else from talking from outside the parish. So I would suggest...
I am a born and bred
I hear you. But you're living
moved
outside
out
now.
only for a year.
That's the point. So I will thank you for taking your seat. But I'm sure that Mr. Dugan, Mr. Morris, and all the rest love the fact that you got in your car and came up here.
No.
Thank
I found
you.
it necessary.
No,
and
thank you.
I also want
Lord
to
bless
say
you.
to Mr. Morris, I knifed him for a year, and he was very patient, so I wanted to say a special thank you to him.
Thank you.
Good evening, one and all. The name here happens to be Kami Hula. But let me be politically correct and say to you, Madam Prime Minister, I enjoy your energy, and I know in the past, winning opposition leader, we had discussions on your vision for this country. And many may not understand your vision, but I share your vision. Now, since 2013, I've been trying to get some street lighting for a place called Pussum Bridge. And I guess persons who live in St. John and St. Philip will know where Pussum Bridge is located. However, Rolling Hills came afterwards and have street lights.
Where is it, Cami?
Pussum Bridge.
Where is it?
This is in the border between St. George and St. Philip. And it straddles the constituency of Minister Weir. St. John. Right, okay, but you have constituency passing through there. And I am hoping that something can happen now because I know, Madam Prime Minister, you're a person of action. You don't play.
Just street lights?
Street lights, yes.
Okay, you have the poll numbers?
No, I can get that for you.
Can you get the poll numbers, please, and let them... Is it Minister Brown or Minister Weir's constituency? St. Philip West?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's on the border.
So if you can get the poll numbers to Minister McConney tomorrow, we will get them and send them in.
We will do. Okay.
Okay? Lord bless you. But I know that's not all you come to talk about.
I'm going to be nice tonight. I like to be nice. Okay. It's been 2018 since you were given a mandate. And I believe that all politics should be a thing of the past. I also believe that the days of persons coming and begging politicians for a street light, groceries, or bus fare should be a thing of the past. This is 2023, and we need to look at doing things differently by using tomorrow's skills today. The time is right where there should be a devolution of authority, where practitioners within each community, be it the skilled persons with brain power, persons who are well connected within their community, can come together and with the assistance of government, form non-aligned movements or think tanks, where issues of poverty, crime, as well as, there's a next social ill, NCDs, can be treated by those persons with various skills within our community. And all it needs is the support of government. I am not hearing anything from this government as it relates to such programs that are at community level where these movements are non-aligned, one, and two, they will seek to empower and use the best brain in each community. Thank you.
Don't move, Cami. We are, as I said, part and parcel of our big blockage is legislative drafting. We have the Thorne Commission, which has recommended people's assemblies. And the truth is that's where we want to go.
Okay.
But we have to frame the legislation for it. And we hope that it will also be included. I have now to meet with the Constitutional Review Commission. They've met with people all over the country and in the diaspora. And I deliberately have asked to go to the back end so that I don't influence others. I want to hear what the population is saying. But suffice it to say that one of the reasons why we established the Thorne Commission in the first term, and it came all over the country, including here at 6 Men's, is because we believe that there is merit in devolving authority in some instances and also consultation in other instances to the community level. And that everything cannot rise and fall on an MP.
Agree.
Everything cannot rise and fall on a ministry. You just heard me make the point that keeping Barbados clean is not about the government keeping Barbados clean alone. It is about all of us. And we have the examples, as I keep saying, that when we work together as a nation, we see success.
Agree.
We did it with COVID, when we work together in terms of what we have to do in terms of saving the dollar. We saw the success. Big challenges. I want us to take on the challenge of wellness. And you keep hearing me say so. Sonia is here. The whole question of getting people to move and eat differently is critical because we're spending way too much money in that. The question, as you said, of street lights and drainage and wells, we want to use technology more. I'm waiting for MTW to submit the proposal with the senior minister for the drone unit, a drone surveillance unit that allows them to be able to better monitor where things are happening rather than having to send human beings in a car to use gas or diesel to go and track something, when in truth and in fact we can monitor and then deploy accordingly. You just heard me speak about the need to be able to redeploy people from a depot. If, for example, for some reason, equipment breaks down all the time, you understand? But there's no sense having men sitting down doing nothing when the equipment has broken down, when they can be redeployed to somewhere else. So I think that how we are trying to re-engineer, I like to call it deconstruct and reconstruct, yes. Because we are living in a different time and we need to use the benefits of the technology for good, but we also need to deconstruct the systems and where necessary the legislation. The ministry, I happen to be aware, is working on a review of the 1925 Highways Act. In 3 years' time, the Highways Act can be 100 years old. Older than anybody in this room. And with a concept of development that bears no relationship to a modern Barbados.
Agree.
So we're with you entirely on it. The use of solar lights was supposed to be able to reduce the costs of government for paying electricity to light and power. The lights are there. I'm not necessarily sure that the lights that were chosen are the best in terms of reach, but it is what we have for now, and we'll go on and try to improve as we go forward. Look, I'm not trying to put a gloss on anything because it is what it is. But what I do believe is that we can do better by decentralizing. We had local government in the past. We're not seeking to go back to the local government of the past, but we are seeking to create a role for communities through parish assemblies and to be able to allow those same parish assemblies to be able to hold especially state-owned enterprises accountable for the services that are being delivered to them, whether it's the SSA or NCC or whoever, okay? Hospital, whoever.
Yeah. All right. since you touch on NCDs also, I run a very large medical insurance portfolio. And I'm very concerned from what I'm seeing. One, the amount of persons who are coming out with an NCD. Is there any legislative hindrance that prohibits any medical practitioner from having a pharmacy? I'm wondering. I know of a medical insurance program in Barbados which collects about $6 million in people, over $8 million. And it's not sustainable. So, I don't want to say, but is it right that doctors have pharmacies? I leave that. Let me leave that.
What is your concern? A potential conflict of interest?
Certainly.
And that's a matter that I am not equipped to speak to, but if there is a genuine conflict of interest, then the Ministry of Health has a duty to investigate it. I do want to say that one of the things that we noticed, and we're trying to catch up with it, and COVID put a dent in our efforts to do, is that some of the regulatory aspects of the Ministry of Health have obviously to be beefed up going forward, because the delivery of medicine and the delivery of medical care generally has changed over the decades. Sonia, I'm not sure if you're in a position to answer whether there are issues there or not, but if not, yeah, we will go on.
It's concerned to the insurance companies, because when you have...
But if this is concerning insurance companies know how to find the Ministry of Finance very fast. And I find it unusual that they haven't.
But the medical insurance feels that's way.
As the AG is also saying, they may be able to audit as well. Hold on a minute.
I'm out of my depth, PM. But certainly from a point of view of being familiar with regulatory agencies, I take it you are suggesting that doctors may be prescribing medication in such a way as to inflate the profit of the pharmacy that they own?
Such motives.
Huh?
I cannot impute such motives.
But unless I know what you're talking about, you're putting me to guess. But
Let's guess.
If there's potential for it, and obviously the government would not allow, we certainly wouldn't want to allow rapacious conduct on the part of any professional. There's no law stopping a doctor from owning a pharmacist. There's a law which says that a doctor can only prescribe medication, he can only dispense medication to his client at the time, I think. I checked, to his patient, yes, I checked the pharmacy out for that recently. If there is an issue and the insurance companies are concerned that they are paying out more than they should, I am sure that a mechanism can be put in place to audit, because the cost of medication is fairly standard. If it comes from the drug service, there's no difference in cost, right? So in which case it shouldn't matter who you buy the medication from. It would have to be non-drug service medications. And so I leave it to you, Sonia. At this point, I am about to drown, so let me let you do the rest.
Sir, it's not that simple.
Let me also put a pause on it. Look, we have to have a presumption of regularity and a presumption of good faith.
True that.
And therefore, I can't entertain the conversation without evidence.
Yeah.
If there is clear evidence, then you need to bring it forward. And as I said, I'm a little surprised because insurance companies know how to find the Ministry of Finance very fast on matters that affect their bottom line. So the fact that they haven't yet come says something to me. And there are things that we also have to look at, because insurance companies, for example, we are looking at the whole issue of whether they can just be at liberty to sponsor what they want and to spend money in things that are non-essential, because remember, premium will be based on their expenses plus return. And there are some jurisdictions that I've been looking into that have placed a cap on what they can spend on non-essential expenditure and how they can recover it. So you can recover it out of your profits, but you can't recover it out of your expenses, and to build up the expenses to be able to then charge the client larger premiums. than you would otherwise do. So we'll investigate it
We'll have a discussion.
quietly, but I'm not
Yeah,
sure
quietly.
that there is a legitimate case that any evidence has been brought to suggest that we rebut the presumption of regularity and the presumption of good faith.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Who's next?
Good night, everyone. Hey. My name is Lesroy King. My name is Lesroy King. Yeah. I live at Parish, St. Philip. I've been residing there for the past 5 years. When I got the keys for the house in December 24th, 2018, I think it was, as far as I can remember. There were a number of issues that I realized being in the house after 2 months. And some of the issues were whereby the house is leaking from the sides of the house where the boards are joined together. I'm really not a person that knows about construction that type of way, but from what I've been from being told from the contractor that is supposed to do the repairs, he explained it to me. The contractor that is supposed to do the repairs, right? I've made numerous complaints to National Housing Corporation. I've wrote 2 letters, if I could remember, sent photos, even showed a video of what I have to endure every single time there is rain falling, especially the last set of rainfall we had last month when they had we were called the freak storm. It's got to be putting down a lot of like clothes and things to stop the water from coming in.
Mr. Gill, please. Mr. King, if you can meet with the general manager of the NHC, and if we can have the NHC give us a report, and not just on Mr. King's house, because if my memory serves me correctly, this is the second person that I'm hearing with this complaint. And to my certain knowledge, those houses were shut up for a number of years.
Which I understand.
Before they were allocated, and that's the danger of, similarly at Constant, same thing. There was another area in St. George South that was shut up too for a while, not as long as this, but also shut up, and River and Parish Land. Not River, Parish Land in St. Philip. So we really do need Mr. Gill to find out, not just, and please deal with Mr. King, but give us a general report as to what has transpired. I know that there was a heavy discount on the properties, but by the same token, the discount was supposed to have facilitated rehabilitation from the state in which it was at. Not true? So please, Mr. King, thank you for coming, and I apologize once again that you've had to endure that, and we will see what has to be done in order to make sure that the leaks don't come in, sir. Thank you.
Good night to all. My name is Olivia Weeks. I live in Sunrise Drive, Rice, St. Philip. My home was damaged by the freak storm, and the next day, the MP for St. Philip South, Mr. Indar Bear, and his assistant, I think her name is Laricia Lashley, and his team came to assist us, me and my family. I'm a mom of 5, and we got a rebuilt, one of the prefab rebuild homes, and I just want to say thank you. I saw some familiar faces from National Housing also. The guy over there in green that came to our assistance and stuff. So I just want to say a huge thanks from my entire household.
You're most welcome, my dear.
Thank you.
Thank you, huh? So as you can see, my friends, all is not lost. We are doing our best. It's not perfection. But these sessions help us to engage and to be able to see where we can do better all the time. I'm told that somebody believes that these sessions are PR sessions. They're not. They're to listen to you. And the only way I would know about the problems still persisting at River is when you talk. And the only way I would know of the extent and scale, although the minister and the MP did tell us, but to hear it from you directly is a different story, Denton, with respect to the damage done as a result of the movement of stuff from Sam Lords. I don't want to speak, because I use this as an opportunity to speak with the country and people as well too. The bottom line is that if we take a job, we have a duty of care. And the duty of care also is, there are two, it isn't only to lawyers and doctors and engineers, it's to anybody who doing a job for somebody. If you hire somebody to cook, you expect them to cook to time and to the specs that you ask them to cook for if you're having a functional home at you, not true? If you hire somebody to come and clean a well, you expect them to clean the well properly and to cover it back so that, God forbid, what happened to that gentleman last week does not happen to anybody again who fortuitously just going to maybe step in and step into something that is so deep that they break the neck. If you are hired to do a job as a trucker, you can't be running down the road so hard, especially when you see cables overhead that you are likely to tear down. Because when you tear it down, you don't know what you are doing when you take electricity from that house. Suppose the person is on a ventilator. Suppose the person is on some kind of, what do you call the machine for asthma? Nebulizer. Suppose the person is in the middle of finishing something that is critical to their job and they miss the deadline. We have to assume that we have to look out for each other. And all I want from this country, truly, truly, is for us to be more caring and compassionate of each other. Among the other things that we do, yes, you feel that way about your family most of the time, but you have to go beyond the family and beyond your obligation to work and to recognize that there has to be that broader outlook. So I think there are a couple of things that we need to start talking about and speaking with each other that we can do better. A contractor who is a serious contractor don't want to be lumped with somebody who just taking people money for the sake of it, do they? Do they? There are too many instances of people who have given money out not to get back anything, and then they don't have any more money to give, and their circumstances are in a bad way. In St. Philip, you carried me to houses where the cracks, Minister, where the cracks in the house clearly are as a result of the wall house not being built properly. Now that family has then to go and look for what? Money to either knock down the wall, knock down the house. And who says that they can go and get a mortgage, especially if they're over the age of what the bank would consider reasonable to lend people money? And I want us in this country, parish by parish, community by community, to start to recognize that sometimes we have to just take time and see what we're doing, if we're doing it the right way, and if we're doing it in a way that will not harm others. It is too simple a matter. I'm complaining all the time, and I've asked them to come with a solution. Those trucks that leave the cement on the roundabout, as the bank in the roundabout and into the early part of the highway, it is wrong. Government can't be spending taxpayers' money to go and fix roads, and then in 2 twos, the road full of cement up again. And we have to find ways, even if it means putting cameras at the roundabouts, in order to be able to see who is it that is causing this injustice and causing the government to have to spend money 2, 3, 4, and 5 times when they shouldn't. So I'm asking us, this isn't about quarreling, this isn't about nothing, this is about reasoning. We can do better. And if we can do better, it means that we can spend the money on the other things that we really want to spend the money on that will make a difference to people's lives, especially those who can't help themselves. Who's next? We're done? Oh, we have an early night tonight. Lord bless us.
We have one more presentation.
It's obviously because there's crop over.
One more presentation, Prime Minister.
Where is it? This is your presentation. Can we please have it as usual? Thank you. And I'd like to encourage other ministries like housing to take up the example being set by MTW and also be in a position to address issues of lands and housing in areas, in parishes, so that people can see what is happening with their money when the day comes. Thank you.
Over the last year, maintenance and road construction of a major highway have been the main focus of the Ministry of Transport, Works and Water Resources within the parish of St. Philip. The 6 Roads Depot is responsible for the parish, which is divided into 3 sections. In the last 6 months of 2022, the depot conducted a major project with the assistance of the workers of the National Cleaning Program.
Mainly we were into the pothole patching, since we had a lot of potholes because of the rain, the heavy rains and heavy equipment damaging the roads. Then along with that, we were also dealing with the ash workers.
Having ash workers at the depot was a great help. We utilize their services and not just debushing and cleaning drains, but also painting bus stops, stop signs, and crossings at schools and head walls.
Along with painting, the MTWW team also repaired head walls in Lowlands and Spencer's. Repairs were also done to manholes in Leadville and Jada Circle.
The NTW staff, the maintenance staff, they did the repairs on the actual head walls. And then we got the ash workers to come along and paint them. So as a one complete unit, so when the head wall is done, it will be painted the same time.
As part of the Inter-American Development Bank funded road rehabilitation and the improving connectivity of road infrastructure projects, the ministry's contractor Infra Inc. rehabilitated the road from Bel Air to Sam Lars Castle.
During the course of the year, we had several, 2 projects mainly that were completed. We had the Searles, the St. Patrick's to 6 Roads Roundabout that have been paved and completed. And recently we had the one from the Crane Roundabout to Sam Lars Castle that has been completed with just slight need for accommodation works. And that should be fully completed shortly. Shortly we'll be embarking on the preparation for CH Best Road. We already have the material already stored on site, so just a matter of coming in, bringing in the equipment and the workers, and starting the process. The short road project will also include the one at Eastbourne number 1, Nazarene Church Road, and there's also one in Blaze Hill.
Unfortunately, due to constraints, one project was halted, but the depot has been surging ahead with its maintenance program.
We had started the project at Brayton number 2, where we maintained, we did our layout, we did our excavation, but then due to circumstances, we had to shift our focus then on the pothole patching program. So that was put on hold for the time being until it could be resumed. With the maintenance program, we were mainly focused on the pothole patching, the reading in the district, changing of manhole covers, changing of well covers, replacing well covers that were never there or broken, and also focus on the drainage aspect, where we brought in workers to clean the drains, clean the manholes and what's not.
MTWW will continue to work on improving road infrastructure within the parish of St. Philip.
Thank you very much. Prime Minister.
Thank you very much. And I want to thank the people of St. Philip and to say to those of you, we hear you, especially as it relates to the housing and especially as it relates to the roads. And we will continue to do what has to be done. I will see to it that we have a formal report on parish land, and that I will ask the minister, if necessary, then to address the matter publicly not just Mr. Lesroy, where are you? You gone? Not just for your benefit, but for the others who are up there as well. And on the issue of the consequences for SAM Lords, I think you heard Ms. Haig, and the BTII will have to stand responsibility. Whether they choose to hold others accountable, that's a matter for them, but they have to stand responsibility with respect to the residents because they are the primary agent ensuring that this work was being done and moved. So I hope that this will make all of us aware that people are watching and people are holding us accountable. And if that is the case, then we have to hold each other accountable and lift up each other at the same time. Thank you and get home safely. Happy crop over, by the way.